Hello and welcome. And before any of you pointing out, I know I need a shave. Anyway, what we're going to look at today, we're going to look at the Dansette. We're going to look at the Dansette Princess. Whoops, the Dansette Princess radiogram from the 1960s. Early to mid 1960s, I dare say. Anyway, this is this unit actually incorporates a 2-wave band AM radio, which is medium and long wave, and as if you didn't guess, a record player, a 4-speed monaural or mono, if you like, a record player. Anyway, basically what I'm going to do, I want to just make a few adjustments because I want to lift the volume knob a bit higher than what it is. It could do going a bit higher because I've done some repairs on this. I'll show you what I've done. I'll just lift the record player unit out. There we go. Lift the record player unit out, and the way this comes apart is simple. It's not rocket science, although finding a screwdriver might be. So basically what we'll do, I need to take that capacitor off there now because it's not needed. Basically what we'll do, we'll take this little board here off, just drop the screw down into there, then we won't lose the screw. Take that little board there off, that's the preamp board. Take that off, and the turntables come off, so I'll put the turntable there. Now basically what we do next is lodge that into the battery, between the two battery tubes. Now basically what I did actually a job, and I just need to make a modification, but what I'll do, I've got some tidying up in here to do. So what I'll do, let's take the plastic cover off. The dial makes it easier for me to get into there, and I need that to come forward that way slightly, and I need it forward and up. So we'll take our little spinner, so we can get it on the little nut spinner as I call it. So we get it on the nut, and then we get the nut undone. And what I do, I leave the nuts in the bottom of the case. The reason why I do that is I don't lose them. I'll turn that round. Oh, pardon me. See, this is all going to get a good clean. It's a bit manky, so it's all going to get a good clean. I'll show you as much of the process as I can. I'm going to put new speaker wires in because the speaker wires are a bit manky. The inside's a bit manky. There's a lot of work in here to be done because I want to sell this. I don't really want to keep it because, to be honest with you folks, I do actually draw good money for Dansettes. Now let's turn the soldering iron on because we can withdraw the record deck. I think we can withdraw the record deck. Yeah, we can desolder that wire there. Yeah, desolder that wire there, and can I get to that one there? I think what I might end up doing actually is, rather than desoldering them and having to piss about, but that's pulling on there and I don't like that. I think what I might do, right, so basically we need to desolder the black from there. All this needs all untidying and all this untidying, needs all untangling and sort of doing, so you know it's right. I've just got an itchy head over there. I'm not loused up or out, but I will need to do a really good proper job of this. I might even get the Jager in there and hoover it out. Right. Yeah. So we can take. Are we anywhere near hot yet? Oh, pardon me, folks. Yeah, that was. I don't know where my bloody other roll of solder's gone. I'm having to use this leaded stuff and it's crap. Can't find me unleaded, my roll of unleaded. I've got two rolls of it. There's a roll there, but it's a bit thin for this job. So I'm having to use this stuff and it's a bit fucking crappy, to be honest. I don't know where my other roll is. It's somewhere. Probably fucking rolled off somewhere. Don't know where I've put it. It's on here somewhere. Can't see it, so. There we go. Give that a dip. There we go. And we turned up on the iron. Yeah, we're at 492. Right. Take that black wire off there. Take the, oh look at that, the pickup wire didn't think it did, it came off nice and easy, it fell off. It's a good job I'm working on this, isn't it? Now, that's that one. And that one could be rather difficult to get to. Just, come on, let's have a look at you. Where are you? See if we can see you. There you are. Now, it don't want to come off, does it? That's where it goes. There we go. Right, so that's that. Right. That's the record player taken out. Right, so I'll put the turntable out of the way. Put that back on. Just put that there for now. Right, and put the, always remember, I forgot, but always remember, put the cartridge so the flag points straight up, that way you're protecting the stylus, or in this case the styly, because there's two stylus, or two styly on that cartridge. There's one for LP and a separate one for 78 RPM playing. Right, so there's a few jobs we want to do on this. We want to sort out the height. And we want to sort out the speaker wires. Now what I did with this, folks, I'll show you what I did. Now this should slide out. my little modification metal piece has dropped off, I just heard it. Right, so what we'll do now, we'll put that there, and right, that's my little modification I made. But what I need to do, I need to basically elongate the hole so that I've got a bit of adjustment so I can slide it up and down. And let me just find the remote control so we can zoom in, I can show you better. Yay! Zoom in, there we go. Right, basically, that's the piece of metal I've made. It has got a bit twisted, a bit bent, but that's because of how it's needed to be. I didn't quite get it right in the first place. But basically you've got... Take these fucking glasses off for a minute. Right, basically you've got this slit here, and that fits into the top of the chassis. There. And it then bolts to the bottom part of the chassis. There. And I'll show you why I'll show you why. I'll explain why. Because I'm going to do a proper job on all this. It was put back together basically for testing. So I could check everything. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you what I actually did. I was using 2 cameras, but I've gone back to 1 because it's fucking too difficult. Too much fucking about. You can see what I'm doing here, so that's good enough. You've got the on-off switch on the back here. Find something to point with. That way my big fat fingers are not getting in the way. Yeah. Right. You've got the on-off switch on the back here. And you've got your volume control on the front here. That's your volume. And you're on off. Well, the original switch was fucked. There was no click in the on-off bit, so you weren't sure whether it was ever on or off unless you could hear it. And the volume control was just cutting out completely. And I did try cleaning it with switch cleaner, and it made no difference whatsoever to it. So it was a case. Basically, it was a case of having to chop the chassis because I couldn't get this. I couldn't get this because there was another piece of metal which I chopped off. I'm just trying to locate it now. Not that it matters. Well, I can't seem to see it, but that doesn't really matter. There was a piece of metal that I chopped out which went behind here. I cut it here. Get my pointer. Why did I cut it across here with the Dremel, and I removed a piece of metal from here that went from here to here so I could get the new switch in. I know it sounds like a bodge and a hack, but basically, you can't get the original. You just can't get the original switches and controls for these anymore. Nobody makes them. So I found a suitable modern one, which is lovely. It turns nice, it feels nice, it doesn't crackle, doesn't cut out, and it does the job, seems to do the job really nicely. So I'm happy with that. And my little bodge up that I made to fit in there, that'll do the job. Because once the chassis is bolted in, and this is all held in place, it ain't going to go anywhere. Anyway, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just get me... Whoops. Don't want to drop everything. Just getting my Dremel case, because I want to see if I've got see if I've got a little bit of fine grinder. Something in here that I can do a bit of surgery with. Yes, I have. I've got this here. I've got that there, which I can probably do a little bit of jiggery pokery with. Put that there for a minute. Because all I need to do really is, yeah, connect that to the Dremel. I get mixed up with the angles, which is where I've got to put things, but you have to bear with me, folk. Anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically enlarge this hole here, so that I'm going to elongate the hole, so that I get a bit of adjustment in the up position. That's what I'm going to do, so that I can just unplug. We're sort of caught up here. There we go. And that's what we want to do really. We want to just unplug the radiogram because we don't need it in yet. Right, make sure we've got power to, no we haven't yet. Well, we will have in a minute. I'll leave it off while I just swap the bit. I don't know where the Dremel spanner is. Well, there's that piece of metal there I was going to show you. Doesn't matter. That's academic. Doesn't matter about that piece of metal. It doesn't matter about that. What does matter is getting everything so it's right. And so that it looks right and it all faces the right way, and I need the small pliers because I don't want this grabbing and twisting in my hand. It fucking hurts. Anyway, let me just elongate my hole and I'll bring you back because you don't need to see me do that. Right, that's my hole elongated, and that should. Let me just check this. Yeah, when you want to check something, and it a bastard and you just can't get your hand in the right place. I mean, I don't want it lower than what it was. And I think before I do, let me just make it easier for myself. What I can do, because I can make it easier for myself by taking off the speaker leads, because we don't need them just yet. And I know where they go here. I'm going to clean all this up anyway, because somebody's been at it before me. So I'm going to clean all this up anyway. Let's get the speaker leads out of the way. And what I want to do now, I want to fit this back in. I want to just fit it back in loosely, because I want to make sure that I've done it right. And basically it's a case of right, so whoops, I think the way I did it, that goes that way around, that goes, it can be quite complicated. Right, so that's in there where it should be. Or I'll get the feeling it's going to fall off, which it did. Now, so if I put my fingers back down there, because I want that in there, I want that bolted in there anyway. And I want that resting. Whoops. Just have that resting on there. And what we'll do now, we'll bring radio in, and now when I put this together the other day, this is not the way I did it, but it is the way it will go in. Put that there. Now, the radio, the board has actually moved out of position. There we go, we're back in. No, we're not quite. There we go. So let's get me nut. Put my nut on. Where's that gone? It's gone a bit rolled into the fucking chassis. Bastard. You fucker, where's it gone? I might just use the other one, it's rolled underneath the board. And given I'm not going to switch it on, it doesn't make any difference. I don't need the other side bolted up. But there we go. Now let's put my top on, my cover here, my dial rather. I need to sort that out as well because there's two nuts there and there's nothing on them to hold it down. There should be something there to hold that down, and I'll have to look into that. I'll push that there, so we're down there and we're the right height there, and we're a bit lower here. So all I do is hold that there. Tighten that fully up. Now let's have a look. Are we tight there? Could have gone a bit higher, but having said that, there we go. It's a bit higher than what it was, but I like it to, that comes to the top there, and that's just slightly off, so I'm wondering if I can get a bit more adjustment. If not, I'll just have to make the adjustment. So undo that. Now let's see if we can push that down. Now, can we a little bit more on that? I reckon a little bit more. Only a fraction now. A little bit more. So what I'll do, I'll bring you back when I've done that. Right, let's pop it back in. Let's make sure we get the correct amount of adjustment. just all the way to the bottom there. Make sure it's not. No, it doesn't. What does it? I'm just trying to work out. Oh, I know what it is. Bear with me. Just slightly off centre. That's it. I'll tell you what, if you haven't got a Dremel, buy one. They don't have to pull you out of all sorts of shit. Best tool ever made, I think. Now let's have a look at the elevation on that now. Oh, plenty. So what we'll do, put that back in. Put that back in. Now slide. Oh yeah. I'll try it once more. If it doesn't go, then I'll come back, bring you back when I've done it. We'll just give it one more go through, because I've got it in before like this, so I know it will go in. So you just got to get it there. There we go. Just so that you get it so you're above. There you go. There we go. Now I put the nut on it so it doesn't come off. There we go. That's the nut on it. Now turn it round so I can see, and you know, so that's absolutely nearly in, you know. Oops, don't know what that was, so it just fell off there. Move that over to the side there. Get my little pointer. Whoops. Slip that into place. Now let's get the other one on to put into place, which is right. Now this is all going to be done, so wind the nut on just so it touches the back of the chassis. Now I can slip that all the way up. Now tighten up, and that's right. And that'll tighten there, and that's exactly, that's catching there, and it's catching there. I could if I needed to get a bit further forward. I mean, that does move there, but that's no problem, that, because it will never come out. And that'll never jump out of there no matter what you do. that'll never jump out of there. I mean, I could have had that. I could actually do that so that it would actually stay up there, but in fact, I might even have the necessary adjustment on that actually to do that. So let's try. Let's just try that. Try and lift that up as high as I can. No, that's right. Right, that's as high as I can get it. But that's that part done. And if I need to take that up any higher, I can. I know I've got the adjustment. So basically, it's basically clean the case. Remove any other items that are in the case, and I need to clean the case. Like take the screws out of the case because the case is going to get washed, and I also need, and so that I'm not going to be fucking about soldering wires here and there. See, that was the piece of metal I took out. That was the piece of metal I cut out, but because I couldn't get the new volume control in, otherwise, do you know the? I think when DANSETTE built these, I think they were built off the shelf fucking parts because there's nothing in them the same. I mean, you got slotted head, Phillips heads, you know, remove the internal aerial, remove the rod aerial and desolder the two wires that go to the external aerial socket. Come on, you cunt. One off. It's two off. Now, take my dial off. Now, very carefully. Very carefully withdraw the chassis. Right. And we're still, oh fuck, we're caught up on that fucking battery wire. Right, so basically, right, so take the leave that one in there. That way I know which way around the fucking wires go back onto the battery. Won't get confused. They don't need to come out anyway. That's it. Right. Now if I lift all that, there we go. That's the radio chassis removed. That's my little piece of metal that I've made. Where's my little nut? So you have two nuts. The other one's gone on, there's the other one. And the problem with them being, problem with it is it's fucking got under the battery fucking. Come on, where are you? There you are. I think that, no, it's not, it's a bit of shit. Where the fuck else is it not? It's in here somewhere. I seen it a minute ago. I don't know, there it is. I don't want to use the hoover on it and hoover me nut up because I might have another one the same size. Or if I have, I'll have to fuck about trying to find one, so. Jesus, that's sharp. It fell off there, stuck in my fucking leg. Right. Got it. About there with that. There we go. The speaker. I may as well pull the speaker because I'm going to put new wire on it. It'll be easier to rewire it with it out. The speaker weren't even that tightly in. Let's zoom out a bit. And I can check the condition of the speaker as well. But see, this is designed to be held in 3 places, the chassis. But whether somebody's been in it before me and replaced, whether someone's been in here before me and done some work on it, I might not get that out, might not be able to get to that actually. Can I get to that one? Might not be able to get the fucking speaker out. That's difficult. Oh, that's difficult. Don't say the speaker's buried. Oh, come here. No, we got it. Dee 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 dee. Yeah, these narrower nuts as well on the speaker. Well, don't ask me why they did that. Now, is that actually undone? See, it's hard to determine. Oh, here's now. I can see the tool coming up. Yeah. So you've got to be careful not to bend the captive bolts as well, otherwise you won't get the freaking nut back on all the way because it will catch at the bend. But we all know this. Now the speaker, don't say they fucking, don't say I can't get the fucking speaker out. Right, where's my little tool? Let's find something. Probably catching on the threads. There we are. That one off there, and that one's already come off. basically the washers actually catch on the threads, and it's hard to get the speaker up. Because the washers actually catch on the threads, and it's difficult to get the speaker. Where's that magnet I've got? Where's that magnet I had a minute ago? I know. I had a magnet before. But that's what it is. It's just a screwdriver caught, just a magnet, not a magnet, the washer caught on the speaker, on the threads. There we are, you see. That one's coming up now. But we've got to care that don't damage the speaker, because it's a 50-odd-year-old speaker and I don't have a replacement. And I'll tell you that now, folks, I do not have a replacement speaker for this. So if I damage it, in fact there's very little I have got for this that is actually original. But have I damaged the cone? I hope not. Please don't be damaged. Oh, look at that, folks. I wonder it rattled a bit. All that shit in it, look at that. Now what we'll do, we'll put the speaker on top of the record player. It's out of the way then. Now can I get the grill out of here? I wonder what all this crap is in here. I mean, look at all this dust. Look at that. Whole solder. It needs a clean. It needs a clean. It definitely needs a clean. It's definitely full of shit. Yes. Can I get the grill off this and get the dents out of it? I can get the dent. Oops. Oh yeah, I can. Because it's done with animal glue. There we go. Look at that. See, they were done with animal glue. And because they were done with animal, there we go. Because there was double-sided tape on this one. It was double-sided tape on this one. It shows how cheap they done them, doesn't it? See, what I can do now, you see, I can tap all the dents out of the grill with my little hammer. I've got a little hammer knocking about somewhere. There it is. I've got a little hammer there, folks, and what I can do, I can lay this flat and I can tap all the little dents out of the grill, and then I can stick it back on with PVA wood glue. That'll hold it, no problem whatsoever. The modern stuff does. No problem, just clean all, sand all this down, and you know, so we'll put that there. And we've got the battery compartment there. That can stay fixed. That doesn't have to come off. See, the reason why I always look through the bits of dust is because you sometimes find a new stylus. Sometimes find a good stylus, because, you know, I'm not going to have to look these today, but I've known it where, chuck that back in. I don't want to throw it on the fucking floor. I'm just going to move it off the floor then. There we go. Right, but I've known it before today where I've taken the record player apart and it's had a brand new stylus that's fell out and gone down between the motorboard and the deck and dropped in. And when someone's changed it, and they've not felt confident enough to go in and get it back, so they've gone out and got another one. But I've known that to happen, I also found a couple of knackered ones in them as well. But yeah, I found a couple that have been okay, been acceptable, you know, to use as a test stylus anyway. But the cartridge that's in this is it's a BSR TC8 full Fi, and I've got hundreds of styli for it, so it's not like I'm short of a stylus. I haven't got hundreds, but it would have been nice to find a 78 RPM one in here amongst the shit. But because the 78 RPM ones are rarer and harder to come by, but because they stopped making them. They actually did stop making them before they stopped making the LP sides, the LP stylus, and the LP stylus is still available. I've got literally hundreds of the damn things. I bought a job a lot of years ago when I first started doing record players. I thought I was going to make some money out of them, and I like, and those of you that have bought a record player from me will know, or had one serviced by me will know, that I do like to fit a new stylus as part of a service, a repair, a sale, because the last thing people want is their records getting trashed. So, you know, I do like to fit, where possible, I do like to fit a new stylus. I wouldn't want my records. I'd turn the soldering iron off for now. Don't need that yet. Well, actually, what I'll leave it on and I'll turn it down. You see, at the end of the day, I wouldn't like my records played with a stylus that was damaged. So, you know, anytime I do a sale or service or repair, the stylus has to be changed. Unless, of course, the customer, if it's a service or repair, if the customer tells me that they've recently replaced the stylus, or they don't want it, I always ask, I never just do it, but I always recommend that the stylus be replaced. And most people do take you up on the offer. I mean, you might have a record collection valued at hundreds of pounds. I mean, I've got a record collection valued at hundreds of pounds, probably even thousands. But I don't collect records for monetary value. I collect them because I want to play them. And whether my records are worth anything, whether they're worth nothing, I don't care. You know, I buy my records because I like to play them. Anyway, getting back to it, you know, it's worth spending £5 or £10. I think the last one, the last service I did was for some friends, and I did. I think it was, I can't remember offhand, but I think it was £5 or £6 for the stylus, because the unit needed a new stylus, and I think it was £5 or £6 for the stylus, and it was worth every penny. I mean, admittedly the radiogram sounded lousy because the stylus was badly worn, and you could tell it needed to be replaced. But even if it sounded nice, I would have still recommended it be replaced, because you don't know, somebody might have played a crap record on that style. You know, they might have played a crap record on that stylus and damaged the stylus. So, yeah. You know, I can't emphasise any more than replacing the stylus. The stylus, the cartridge and the amplifier all work together. They work as a team. And if one part of that team is letting the side down, then the rest of it's not going to sound as good as it can. I mean, this had a new stylus in it a while back, but because it's going to be offered for sale and I've played records on it, when it's done it will be sold, and because I'll be selling it, then I will pop a new stylus, and I won't pop a new 78 RPM one in because I haven't got one. But what I'll do, I will wait until it's sold, and I'll ask the person if they want to play 78s, and if they don't, then I'll pop 2 LP versions of the stylus in, so they can wear one side out and wear the other side out. I don't have to pop 2 in, but I will because I'm nice, and I've got fucking hundreds of them. So my Clark and Smith uses the same stylus. That's why it uses the same stylus as this, because I've got plenty of them, and I've got plenty of the Ronette ones as well that go in the Ronette cartridge. I've got plenty of those. It's just everything else I'm short of, like sonotones and BSRs and BSR ST16s and stuff like that. I could do it a lot. Could really do finding a job lot. A job lot of stylus is cheap. A job lot of stylish, should I say? Cheap. Pardon me. The last lot I got came from my friend Leon in London. I did a deal with him, and he sent me a load of stuff, and I bought these styluses from him. I bought all his styling from him. I keep saying styluses. I bought all his styling from him, and there was loads of stuff in there. I mean, a lot of it's gone now. Them TC8s, they weren't in there. I bought them separately. But there was a lot of stuff, and most of it went into repairs. I mean, I think them Ronettes came from Leon, because I still got I think I've got 20 of them Ronettes left. Them Ronette styles, about 20 of them left. The GP, I got a load of GP91s from him. They were popular. They went quick. The old Arcos GP91, and what was that stylus that went in Joanne's radiogram? I can't remember offhand. The little black thing. That went. I had a load of them and all. I think they were. I think they're sonotone. They're either actually they're not. I think they're Garrard. I think they were Garrard them, and yeah, they're Garrard, and they were popular as well. I got rid of a load of those. Trouble was when I did Joanne's repair, and I needed one of them. I didn't have one in stock because I'd used them or sold them, so I had to order one in for her. But yeah, you know. One of my record players actually appeared on television. It appeared on the Royal in one of the episodes. A guy rang me up, and the record player was on eBay. He was a Dansette Tempo, and you know, he says, would it blend in with like the 60s? I said, of course it would. It was made in the late 50s, early 60s. I said, just what you're looking for, really. Anyway, he made me an offer, and it was on eBay. He made me an offer. I removed it from eBay, and I accepted his offer. I took and pulled the listing down, and he came and he purchased it, but he also got into me ribs for a spare stylus, you know, in case there was a scenario where they had to replace the stylus. You know, he said, you know, could you chuck a spare in? And at what he paid me, I think he paid me about 80 quid for this thing. Between 60 and 80 quid for this thing, for this Dansette. And for what he paid me, I mean, I couldn't say no, really, could I? So, you know, that's where one of my GP91s went, because I fitted it with a GP91 cartridge. That was the only thing that wasn't really within keeping, was the GP91, because the GP91 wasn't invented then, wasn't designed then. But, you know, nobody's going to look at that and say, I mean, I was watching an episode of Heartbeat. I'm going to get off in a minute because I need to sort scraps out. I was watching an episode of Heartbeat, and one of the episodes was set in the mid-60s, and in a record shop. They did a scene in a record shop, and they had a linear Super 70 disco, a linear Super 70, a linear 70 Super Disco. On the counter that they were using to play records on, and the linear Super 70, the linear Super Disco 70 didn't come out until about 1970 anyway. 70, 73, maybe 74 even. They were in production for a lot of years, but they certainly weren't out. They certainly weren't around then. But they made them for quite a few years. But in the 70s, they weren't made in the 60s, and that's it. But so, you know, I think if they're going to use a prop that's completely wrong for the period, I don't think they're going to bother too much. I don't think they'd bother too much about the cartridge in the tone arm of a record player. Nobody would have noticed. It would only been a keen eye like myself, and I didn't watch the episode it was in because I'm not into television, as you know, but I knew it was appearing on telly because the guy told me. And he turned up here, you know, and he turned up in a great big 4x4 with an 18-foot trailer hitched to it, and a Ford Transit van, an old Ford Transit van on it. And basically the Transit van had just been repainted. It was the one that was used in Life on Mars, I forget which episode, but it was one that was used in Life on Mars, and it had been repainted. It was a blue one, and it had been repainted green for another programme. Apparently these guys, they buy props and rent them out, and you know, so that's what they do. They provide props for TV programmes and things, and that kind of idea. Anyway, folks, thanks. What am I saying? Thanks for watching. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll call this part one. We'll call this part one and the strip down, and I'll see you later for part two. Because it's getting a bit long now, this, and it'll be a 2 or 3 part. It'll be a 2 or 3 part of this one. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and more to come later. This is part 1 of the DANSETTE Princess battery-operated radiogram from the early to mid 60s. I'm waving a hand, folks. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.